Hey, everybody. I did not announce that I was going to go live. I just jumped on here really quick to bring you a message about Hurricane Helene. And maybe I'll wait until it looks like a few people have joined my live. It looks like there's 2 people there before I talk too much about the Hurricane Helene relief, which is the point of this live stream, which is why I jumped on here. Hey guys, a few of us are here. Corey is gone right now to her brother-in-law's wedding, so she is not here with me to join this live. I'm missing her, feeling lonely without her, feeling weird that she should be like right here or right here sitting with me. But you guys are joining here. Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing well wherever you are. And for those of you maybe who just joined and didn't hear me say in the beginning, I want to do a live stream here to talk a little bit about Hurricane Helene, just some different things that are going on. Corey and I have tried to stay up to date with it the best we could as far as keeping you guys posted on resources and things that you can do to continue to help those suffering from Hurricane Helene. And Corey is gone. She is at a wedding. I think maybe by now the wedding ceremony would be over. Austin's brother is he has a brother and a sister, and his brother is getting married. And I think probably by now the wedding ceremony's over. And so maybe they're like at the reception. I'm not sure. Corey sent us some really beautiful, really sweet pictures of her and Woody and Austin in their wedding attire. It was really, really rather sweet. I hope they're having a good time there. Look, Johnson City. Hey guys. Hope that you guys are all doing good. I'm doing good here. I need to give somebody will probably ask about Binks. I need to post on Instagram an update about him. I'd posted, I don't guess it was last night, but maybe the night before that to pray for little Binks because he got bit by a snake again. He has a problem with getting bit by snakes, and it's because he's an aggressor and he's an agitator, and anything that moves, crawls, breathes, anything he senses is alive, he wants to toy with and cause pain and suffering because that's what cats do. And he's really mean and he's really good at it. I mean, cats are predators, right? They have to live, and that's, I guess, what they're meant to do when they're out in the wild. And he is a wild cat. He spends part of his time in, part of his time out. Anyway, I go downstairs multiple times a day, and I realized that he was really puffy, like really swelled, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. And the last time he was puffy and swelled was when he got bit by a snake, and I found the snake. Like, I knew where the snake was. It was a copperhead that had bit him. And so this time I can only assume that it was another copperhead, probably. I mean, a venomous snake of some kind, because if it wasn't a venomous snake, then he wouldn't have puffed up. And I could see, like, right here, like right between his little kitty eyebrows, he had puncture wounds where he had been bit. And so I was really worried about it, but I kept an eye on him. I kept checking on him, and he pulled out of it. He was okay. Late that night, I went down to check on him one more time, and he jumped off his perch and went and got something to eat and drink. And I thought, well, he's probably not feeling too bad, or he wouldn't be eating and drinking. And then the next morning, he run out and can only assume was after some more snakes. So I think he's feeling better, and I think he's fine now. But I have a concern that he's burning through his 9 lives, with all of the mania that he does. Anyway, Binks is fixed. Yeah, he is a fixed cat, but he lives and breathes to hunt. It's the hunt, the thrill of the hunt for him. Hey, Homestead and Pastor. Hey, Lon. I hope that you're doing good today. Hey, Ramona. Everybody, I'm just got to say hello to everybody. I'm glad that Binks is okay, though. And he does bring all sorts of stuff in. Snakes and mice. He's hard on the mice and vole population. He'll even kill spiders. One time, I saw him getting a little tussle with a wolf spider, and it bit him, like right on his nose, and he squealed a little bit and made me feel bad, but let's just say the spider didn't make it. He killed it and ate it. He'll eat anything. And I don't know if all cats do that. Someone have to tell me, is that a thing that all cats do? They enjoy eating bugs and the like, or is it just because he's a feral cat and was born outside, and so he had to learn to fend for himself, and he's like, oh, spider, food, because he didn't have anybody giving him fancy feasts. So Waynesville, hey, you're not that far from us. Peggy, I wonder if we're related because we have the same last name. Hey, Justin. Yeah, I thought cats and snakes was on the same side. I hope that you guys are all doing good. Thank you so much for joining the chat here. I'm sitting outside. Mama and Dad are watching our temporarily for me. and there's a cardinal that's been landing on our blackberry bushes over there. Ira won't let any of the blackberries get even remotely like ripe before he wants them. He cries for us to take him outside and feed him the blackberries, which is hilarious. Binks for president? Yes. Binks could be our president. But unfortunately, we would probably all be eating mice and running from snakes if he was. It wouldn't be good. Oh, that's so funny. Someone said they have a black cat named Jinx. It would rhyme with Binks. That is too funny. Too funny. 91 degrees. Yeah, it was really hot here. It was probably in the 90s. I don't know how hot it was. I never really did look. I should have, but it's probably really hot. Someone else said their cat likes bugs, so maybe it's not a feral cat thing. Maybe it's just some cats are like that and some cats aren't. I'm not sure. Valentine, yes, we are continuing to pray for your dad. Corey usually does when Corey is here. She does all of our computer work when we want to link things in the video, and she's really good at it and she's really quick at it. And I am neither. I'm not good at it, but I'm gonna try for old Corey, even though she's not here. All right, I'm gonna put that's a link to Valentine D just commented. They have a YouTube channel for his namesake. I just put a link to their channel in the chat here. And continue to remember her dad in your prayers. He's having some dental issues. He to my understanding, had some dental work done, but it didn't go the way it needed to go. I, several years ago, cracked a tooth. It's a long story how, but it was a very painful process, a very nerve-wracking process. It's never fun to have dental work going on. It's just not fun for anybody. So we are praying for him. Detroit is 105. Ooh, that is very hot. Me and Corey went to Detroit one time, but we only went to the airport. Well, we drove out of the airport, but I wouldn't say that I got the Detroit experience, only the airport experience. Yeah, Western North Carolina did have more flooding recently. Highway 40 between North Carolina and Tennessee, they got that fixed from Hurricane Helene, and with some of the rain that they got just recently, it washed the road out again. So I can't remember which side of the traffic, if you say eastbound, westbound, which side of the road fell off, but it fell off in the river again. So now that portion of the highway is closed, which is a problem because that's the main thoroughfare for people. In fact, my great aunt and uncle were here just maybe the beginning of the week. They were visiting. Or was that last week? Now I'm trying to remember. Anyway, they said that they were going to go to Nashville to see some of their family, and they couldn't go Highway 40, which is where they would usually go because they live in Haywood County. They live in Canton, so they would just hop on Highway 40. They couldn't go that way, so they had to come all the way this way and go through the Ocoee Gorge and through like Chattanooga, which was out of the way for them. Do cats not need anti-venom like dogs? You know something? I'm not really sure. I just always check on him. Like, I'm like, if his breathing looks normal, and it does, and his eyes look normal, and they did, and everything, like all his other behavior, if it looks and he's acting normal, then I just keep an eye on him. There's an emergency vet about 45 minutes from where we live, maybe not an hour, 45 minutes. So I just tell myself, I'm like, well, especially if it happened, if Binks the cat, if his snake bite happened, and I don't know when it happened because he's an outside cat and he just wandered in, and I'm like, okay, well, when did you get bit? I have no way of knowing how long he had already been bit, or even what bit him for that matter, or where the snake was at. So I just watch him, and if none of those things seem any different, then I'm like, well, it's probably okay. But we have that emergency vet that we could go to if we needed to. Corey and Austin have taken Olive to the emergency vet before. One time they thought that I don't know if she went to the emergency vet that time, but they thought that she ate Austin's wedding ring. Turns out she didn't, but that's probably something she would do. Someone says copperheads have no venom, so if it was a copperhead bite, they probably couldn't do anything for him. They could keep him comfortable, give him some fluids, but Binks is pretty tough, so he kicked it pretty good. And I try to, like, all day long just be circulating. Where is Binks? What is he doing? Keep an eye on him. But it's, he's got a mind of his own, so it's hard to track him down all the time. But he definitely does get locked in every night. So at least at nighttime, he is within the confines of the basement. And if he would be really good, then I would just let him come upstairs. And occasionally he does, but he probably shouldn't spend the night upstairs. David, that is so sweet. Thank you so much. Etsy, someone's asking about Etsy information. You know something? Etsy is tricky, and it's trickier than it used to be because it's become a very saturated market, uh, as probably any platform is. In the very beginning, it seems easier because there's less competition, there's less people offering, items and goods for sale. So it is kinda tricky. I will say one thing I think I've experienced myself since I have an Etsy shop. I think Etsy has an algorithm just like YouTube, just like all sorts of stuff does. And I think if you post, like even if it's only one item for sale, whatever it is, if you just post, like, one item for sale a day, I think that Etsy takes that and recognizes it as, like, regular activity, and then will be more likely to show your item in, like, the top of the search results. So, like, if you made a pair of earrings with agate and you just say, like, "silver agate earrings," and someone searches that because 'cause they're wanting to buy them or they want to buy something like that, then if you have good standing with the algorithm, then your, product is more likely to show up at, like, the first or the second page of results versus, like, the 300th or 400th pages, if that makes sense. So I think some of it is the algorithm being consistent, just like on YouTube, like, be like, consistently posting videos, so YouTube sees that, recognizes the regular activity, and then recommends your video to more people. I think Etsy does the same thing, and I think too, it helps to have, like, marketing, so, like, social media is annoying, but social media pages to market and just draw, outside attention to where you're selling your work, if that makes sense. And I also know that there's a lot of YouTube videos on here about that very thing, how to run a successful Etsy shop. So I know you could probably find something someone would put it better than me out there on the YouTube how-to videos. Sandy, Ira's eczema is not good. I just bought some more stuff. I buy all kinds of stuff. I'm trying all sorts of stuff for it. But, I do believe it's a gut problem, and so I need to get his gut fixed, kinda, seal, heal, tie up his gut, make it strong, and I do think eventually it'll go away, but, we're working on it, bless his heart. Prayers requested, for Chera, am I saying that right? Chera's daughter, she was hit by a car walking home from work yesterday. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Badly needed, needing stitches. Oh, name is Christina. Thank you. Oh, praying for your daughter. That's scary. No good to be hit by a car. I'm trying to scroll through this chat here. It's helpful when there's two of us to kind of, but when there's just one, I'm like, oh no, moving real slow. Yes, Binks does occasionally just make a casual appearance through all of our videos. He just is out here. He's locked in the basement right now, and if he wasn't, he would hear me talking, and he would probably just come right here and sit and join me. Some feels like I was gonna say something else. Anyway, trying to keep up with the chat. So one reason that I started this live chat, and I think that you'd be able to see in the description of the live stream, I wanted to talk about Hurricane Helene. So Deep River Farm, Wayne from Deep River Farm channel, he has been very instrumental with Operation Mountain Relief from the very beginning and helping these folks with their needs, those who lost literally everything, and just those people who were impacted in some way, form, or fashion from Hurricane Helene. And of course, some progress has been made and rebuilding and folks because of the loving helping hands and some other organizations. Some people have got back in their homes, some people have received what they need, but there's still going to be so much that needs to be done for these folks. And so Wayne, I think was it yesterday or the day before, he posted a video, a Mayday video, and he was just talking about some really essential things that they are still needing. And these are things that are being needed at relief centers, places, hubs that are still providing items, food, and all sorts of stuff for these people who are still isolated because the road got washed out, for the people who are badly economically impacted. And so what I want to do is, if I can, I want to real quick go and leave a link for that video because Wayne shares all in the video where he's talking about the Mayday. He sharing there was his video playing just for a second. He is sharing all of the information about helping these people. And so I'm going to put it right here in the chat. This is a link to that video, the Mayday video that he did, but I think if I'm not mistaken, that when this live chat is done, oh, it's making noise somehow. Sorry. If I'm not mistaken, when this live chat is done, I can edit the description and then I can add that stuff to this video as well. And even leave a link to the Mayday video, but put all the information you would need to help these relief centers. They are receiving help in the form of mostly Amazon wish lists so that you can just go purchase an item and it ships directly there. And then it's inventory and stock for these people who need help to come and pick up the items. If it's food, if it's household items, whatever it is. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Missy. That is so sweet. Thank you. Terry, where's Bellevue Community Center? Are you singing tomorrow night? Terry, are you close? Do you live here? I know somebody named Terry who lives in, he may live in Bellevue, and he will probably be at the singing. Terry, I think the singing in Bellevue is tonight, unless they're doing something tomorrow night. Bellevue is, where's the community center? I think if I'm not mistaken that it's on Moccasin Creek Road. I know there is a community center there, but I'm trying to ask myself if that's the Bellevue Community Center or not. It probably is Moccasin Creek Road off of Highway 129. Anyway, yes, we want to, oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Who pants? I think that's how you say that. Thank you. Oh yes, Uncle Paul did mention it, Terry. That's right, he did. And that is tonight. At some time. They may already be singing. I'm not sure. I thought about going with them, but sometimes it's just tricky bringing Ira because I'm like, we're about 45 minutes away from bedtime, something like that. But anyway, finishing my thought on the Hurricane Helene help. So all that information I'm going to provide for you. I'm pretty sure I can do that. Edit the description, put all that there for you, and you would have a way to go look. There's several relief centers listed with Amazon wish lists, and then if you ever just felt led to, and I think through the information that Wayne left on his video, you could do this, and if not, you could definitely email me and I can tell you how to. You could also just look up the address and send them a check or something like that, or get in touch with them and ask them, hey, if you don't want to do an Amazon wish list item, sending it there, hey, what else could I do? Because there's just for years, there's just going to be people needing help from this, and like the rain that they just had, when other things like that happen, sometimes if they even just get a makeshift bridge back, it'll wash it out again. And then they're back to square one. And it's just so sad. So incredibly sad. So look for that information later. And oh, no, Terry, you didn't distract me at all. God bless you. I hope it didn't come off like that. Terry, I wouldn't want you to think that I'm like, Terry distracted me. No, it's more like my squirrel brain has a real hard time like aggregating the information and things I feel like I need to share. It's just like over here, over there, and wonder what Ira's doing. I haven't heard him cry yet. He probably will cry because it's evening time and he gets jacked up in the evening. So anyway. You can look for that information. Sometimes I just still search on Facebook, like Hurricane Helene, and then like go by post and just see, like, is there anybody out there asking for help? Is there anybody talking about what's going on? That Peter, I'm going to mispronounce his name. Come on, what is it? Peter, Santino, Peter, Santilo. I don't know. I really wish I could pronounce his name. It's terrible. He actually went and did a video and it blew up. Santillo, maybe something like that. He went and did a video and it blew up, showing kind of the aftermath of Hurricane Helene and just getting boots on the ground and eyes on the ground to see what they're really still living like. It's very heartbreaking. Oh, Nan, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss, for your family member passing on. We'll be praying for you, sending prayers for the loss of a loved one. So yes, Child of the King shared a really good Bible verse here. Commit thy way into the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Fun fact, Psalms 37:5, that is something I told myself leading up to before I had Ira because I was really nervous. And even the morning when I went to have him, I was like, scared, and that's the Bible verse I quoted, was just trust in the Lord and he'll bring it to pass. Trust God and he'll get this baby here some way, form, or fashion. And it all worked out. It really did. Worked out quite well, I'd have to say. It was a very blessed experience. I hear something over there, and you know something, there's been snakes, and we have this problem with this deer. She's just, like, hanging out in the driveway, and yeah, she's wild. She just keeps showing up, and every time I go outside, she's just here, and I'm like, "Oh gosh," wanting to eat our garden, and the deer alarms don't scare her, and so I'm like, "Is it her?" Like, I would not be surprised at all to look over there and she'd be standing on the other side of the deck. How scary. Um, yeah, that's right. There's still videos about Hurricane Helene. If you just search, you'll find all sorts of stuff, and it's just so sad to think about these people who lost their home and lost everything that would have been familiar to them because of the landscape just drastically changed. And they're still, it almost feels like the rest of the world sadly moved on. And you know, I mean, I guess the world still turns and people still have to live their life and people have to provide for their families and even outside of tragedy, but still it's so sad, you know, we wanna try to not forget them and remember them and, of course, countless others who have been affected by tragedy. Oh, so I just, you know, I mainly wanted to do this live chat just to, you know, it's nice to touch base. I really enjoy spending time with you guys, but to, you know, to remind you just, you know, pray for the people who have still been so impacted by that, who are still trying to build their life back and piece together what they knew before, and then to bring those opportunities because it is so easy to just, like, follow a link, and then it's like, "Okay, they need toilet paper, click, just buy the toilet paper," and it sends, you know? It's easy, it's quick, it's convenient, and it really does matter. Mike said, "Does the deer that's roaming around have a baby?" Yes, I think she has a fawn very close, and so we just kinda like, if I see her out here eating something, I try to just, like, not rudely, but, like, nicely shoo her away. But I do think she has a baby. I thought I heard a fawn bleat, like, a day or 2 ago, so I think that's why she's here, because she has a fawn close that she's kinda stashed away somewhere in the thick brush. So I try to just ignore her and just let her do her thing, and she'll probably move on here in a little while. Yeah, Edward. So see, and that's the other thing, you know, we just think about Appalachia, but, you know, the hurricane hit Florida too, so Florida really got hit hard. And the interesting I say interesting, you know, in the nicest, mildest manner that I could possibly say it in when I say the interesting thing is, because it's bad, but it is the comparison between, like, I guess, Florida and the mountains, like, the different landscape. I think the interesting thing about the mountains, of course, and I think what made it so devastating is the physical topography of, like, you've got, like, really, really big steep mountains, and then down in the middle is just this channel, and so, like, just, the rivers rose, and then all this water and all of this mud and drainage just literally comes down the bowl and just meets in the middle and just destroyed any and everything in its path, and I think that that's why it was so severe here is because it was, you know, the mountains act as, like, literally a funnel, and the town is down here in the middle of the mountains, and so the funnel quite literally just, like, pushed all of the most devastating impact on the very place where the highest concentrations of people were, and that's just terrible. It's so sad. My computer battery's probably not gonna make it for forever. I should have plugged it up. I didn't, though. Is the flooding is that West Virginia close to you all? No, I'm not too close to West Virginia. So we've had rain, like it's been a rainy season here, but we've not experienced any flooding. The creek got up and flooded its banks a little bit, but that wasn't that big of a deal. Like I don't think anybody experienced any devastation. Maybe a little inconvenience, but nothing serious. Yep, that's right. Sometimes water damage can be worse than even wind. And then you put them both together and it's really, really terrible. Yes. I'm gonna just jumping back up this chat real quick to see if I missed anything. Someone asked for prayers for their husband who had a concerning bone marrow test result. And it sounds like this individual's already had a cancer, 2 previous cancer diagnoses. So we're praying for that. Praying for that. Thank you guys for being here and joining in this chat. I appreciate it. I do. I really do. All those repairs on I-40 washed away. Yeah, that's right. They just got it all fixed, and then it just fell back off in the river. It's terrible. Sean, am I ready for the heat? Yeah, man, the heat was here today, and I hear it's only gonna get hotter, so, out here trying to gear myself up because, I'm not crazy about the heat, honestly. I mean, I don't want it to be freezing cold, but, you know, the searing heat might not be my favorite. My cat was born that night Hurricane Helene hit. I named her Helene. Oh, wow. I saw a story later on about Hurricane Helene, and I maybe someone else saw the story somewhere that there was actually a baby born, at home, I think, that night because they couldn't get to the hospital. Wouldn't that be a wicked experience? Oh my gosh, scary. Hayesville, you're not far. Hello. I haven't been to Hayesville in forever. Oh, it's a bird. It's a teeny tiny bird over there. I keep checking over there. I'm like, is it the deer? Is it the snake? Is it a snake? No, it's just a bird. I'm just being paranoid. Oh, wow. Someone is saying that, Alice Jean Craft, where are you? You say you have tornadoes here and they're getting stronger, popping up with little to no warning. That is scary. We've been watching Max Velocity. He has a really good weather coverage, and he always goes live, just like, what's his name? What's the other guy? Ryan Hall, y'all. They're both really good live news coverage YouTube channels to watch. And it seems like the Midwest has just been, and like the plains and whatnot have just been beat to death. And even like Louisiana and Mississippi have been beat to death with tornadoes, like one after another. Sad. Oh no. Jane says that pray for the family of the people who died in a tornado in North Dakota last night. There must have been tornadoes in North Dakota. Praying for that. Roger, have I ever been to Vermont? Yes, I have been to Vermont. I've been to Montpelier. We stayed in Massachusetts one time with a friend, and for about the week that we were up there, we spent several of those days driving from Montague Center, Massachusetts to Montpelier, Vermont. And he had like an orchestra kind of that he directed up there, and we went with him and played music and took turns driving. It was about a 2-hour ride. Vermont's not a really big state, so I think you could probably drive the thing in like 4 to 5 hours. I'm not real sure. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but it seemed like a small state to me. Oh, Amanda. Okay, cool. Talking to Amanda here. Alice Jean Craft. She says her name is Amanda. Oh, cool. Someone says that they found my mama's channel, Celebrating Appalachia. Oh, and someone says they live next to Montague Center in Massachusetts, the place I was just talking about that we went. That was a beautiful, beautiful little town. Really cute little place. And we also went to Amherst. I think it was a place called Amherst, maybe. We went to a music store there. Oh, Bobby. She says that if you're prepared, a home birth isn't that scary because she's a midwife of 45 years. Yeah. I think it would be scary if that's not what you wanted to do and then you ended up doing it anyway. If if you were set on like, I'm going to go to the hospital and have this baby, I think then it would have been scary. But I definitely think that you're right. If you had people who knew what was going on and you had a support system, because everybody was born at home at one time, like all of granny and all her brothers and sisters, they were all born at home. So you definitely, I think it probably just depends on what you've got your mind set up for. And one time Corey said that she was like, I'm going to have it before she had Woody. She told Austin, she's like, let's just have him at home. And Austin was like, no, we're not going to do that. And for poor Corey, in her case, it probably ended up being a good thing that she was at the hospital. But the cool thing is the hospital is only like that the place that we had both the boys, it's only like 30 minutes from our house, and it's small and it's kind of a quaint experience. So it was okay. Yeah, mom. So mom and dad today, someone's asking what mom and dad were doing. They were working, dad and Uncle Paul this morning were working on the shed and they got the roof on it. So I'm really excited about that. It looks really great. And I know dad was dreading that part because who wants to put the tin on and then have to walk on the tin because it's slick, it's scary, it's hot, not like the funnest part of the whole shed construction, I'm sure. So they're pretty tuckered out after they got that done. Remember Donnie Laws in your prayers. He lost his brother in a very tragic way recently. Oh, no. I didn't know that. We'll be praying for him in his time of grief. Bless his heart. Yes, North Carolina is a beautiful place. I've been from here all the way to the coast in North Carolina, and every part of the state looks different. Of course, we have the mountainous region, we have the Piedmont, and then we have, oh, come on. What do they call that last section? Where the flatlands are. Come on, what is it? I don't know. I can't think about it right now, but I can't think of the name, but it's beautiful. anywhere you go in the state of North Carolina is a beautiful place, a unique experience. What is it? You've got the Piedmont, and then somebody will tell me what it is, and I just can't remember. Oh, went to college in Amherst. Someone said that that's where they went to college. That is so cool. Coastal Plains. That's it. Thank you. That's right. Holman's homestead was devastated by Hurricane Helene in a really just bad way. You know, not having a vehicle, not having a job is terrible. We are definitely remembering them in our prayers, as so many of people that we know like them were really devastated. Thank you for that, Byron. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. I don't want to hop off here too quick, but also, I don't know how long Ira will play nicely, because he gets tired in the evening. He gets tired. You know, he's at that age where sometimes if he takes a big nap, like if his first nap's a big one, then that's it. He's not going to take another one. So sometimes he only takes one nap a day. So if he takes it in the middle of the day, about 8 o'clock, he is spent, and it is bedtime. And that's only 30 minutes from now. So, anyway, well, I just miss Corey. I just miss her. I just wish she was here with me, you know? Yeah, and, you know, speaking of prayer requests, yeah, we do. We need to pray for our country. We need to pray for the lost, for people in the country who don't know who God is and haven't accepted Christ as their Savior. You know, that's the scariest condition to be in. Of course, having your home and your community ravaged and devastated by a hurricane is scary. You know, being physically ill, that's scary. There's a lot of things in this world that are scary, you know, things that befall us, things that we all have to face. But I know that the scariest thing of all is not having your eternal whereabouts settled, is not having a, what would you say, testimony of salvation. That's the scariest thing. I think that it is that, well, I shouldn't say I think. It is the scariest thing that you could consider. Binks is good. Binks is all right. You know, he's doing better. He really is. He kind of, for the last day or two, he's kind of acted a little slow, but I did see him, I'm pretty sure I saw him with a lizard earlier. So if he's feeling like hunting and eating a lizard, and he will eat them, then he must be doing pretty good, or he wouldn't be chasing the reptiles down. He enjoys doing that. He does. 100 degrees from Nebraska. Oof. That's wild. Nebraska. When I went out west, we stayed in Nebraska. I believe we stayed in a place called Grand Island. I think that's right. It was beautiful. And we went into town to a hardware store, and I think it was in Grand Island, and it was just a really charming, cute town. I really liked it there. And somewhere, maybe it wasn't Nebraska. I'm thinking it was further south, so it must have been somewhere else. Somewhere we went into a diner, and I wish I could remember where it was, because it was a really good diner. It was good eating. You know what? I'm starting to think that was like Arizona or New Mexico. But you know, we may have went into it. I think there was 2 separate diners we went into. So one of the ones we went into may have been in Nebraska. Maybe I had that right. It was also very good. You know, something like that. Concord, North Carolina. So is that the coastal plains? Is that further out there? Is that on the coast? I think maybe. Oh, thank you, Carol. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. That's right, Angie. I feel the same way. Without Jesus, I couldn't make it one day, 1 second of one day. Someone was asking about Ira. He does have a middle name. I don't know if I've ever shared his middle name. His middle name, he has 2 middle names. One is Dale and one is Matthew. So he's Ira Dale Matthew. Matthew for my dad, because my dad's name is Matthew. We call him Matt. And Dale for my dad's dad, my grandpa. His middle name is Dale. So he is a Pressley family kind of, you know, he's got the Pressley family name. Interesting enough, though, Ira, that name, that was the name of my great uncle, and he married Papa's sister. So technically he wasn't a Pressley. He was, his last name was Singleton, but he married Papa's sister, and he was a very sweet man, and I have really sweet memories of him. He died when we were really young, but I just really liked him. His mama lived several years after that, and I actually remember her better than I remember him, because when we would go and visit my Papa's sister, Ira's wife, we would go see her mother-in-law, Ira's mama, and we enjoyed that. Someone said I have told you before. I just couldn't remember if I had or not. Shelby, please say hi to my Piper. Hey, Piper. What you doing? Hey there. You guys are being so sweet in these comments. I'm going to start blushing. Brian, that's so sweet. Thank you. You know, it's so weird in the hospital. Right before I left, they were like, you have to get this boy a name or you can't leave. And I just mold and mold and mold it over. You know, it's very serious when you give somebody a name because that's going to be their name for the rest of their life. It's what they're referred to. It is their title. It's how everybody thinks of them. And so I felt really burdened by it. I wanted to get it right. And so I just prayed and prayed until the last minute. And I was like, well, this is what I'm going to name him, God. And I guess God was okay with it, or he would have said, Katie, do something different. And that's just what I went with. When are y'all going to sing Beulah Land for me? That's a really beautiful song. I think someone asked earlier about a worship song, like what's my go-to worship song? And I always think about old hymns. So I might think of a song like that, or I might think about Victory in Jesus, just probably an old hymn, something like that. Yes, Roger, speaking about homeschooling, I can't speak for Corey because I know Corey and Austin will have to confer and agree, but I can speak for myself. I am going to homeschool Ira for sure. I don't, there's a whole host of reasons that maybe one day I'll explain why I don't want Ira in public school. So I'm going to homeschool him. Oh, she was absolutely thrilled. Piper is a beautiful name, and I'm trying to think if I've ever known any Pipers in my life. I don't know if I have or not. I'd have to think on that and try to come up with it. See if I could remember anybody. There used to be a TV show that had a character named Piper on it, I think, that we watched, but I don't know if I ever knew anybody in person. But I love that name. It's very unique. Oh, Linda, thank you. You know, I really enjoy making the jewelry. I just don't have as much time as I have in the past, but you know, I work at it, plug away at it a little bit by little bit. So hopefully I'll make some more stuff soon. Hopefully so. It's really nice out here right now. The temperature is very my shirt is just so loose, and there used to be a commercial where it was like loose shirts. They're like, don't let your v-necks and stuff, your v-neck shirts get loose because doesn't make you look nice. And this guy would show up to a restaurant and it's supposed to be like black tie event or something, and his shirt would be like all like wrinkly and he would look bad. I'm like, that's me. But it is, yeah, it's nice out here. It's cool. It's not hot right now. It's not very windy. It's an enjoyable evening. Big Red, yeah, that was probably the commercial. Also, I think it would probably benefit if I just like, yeah, well, I look a little nicer if I was to just like bring the computer up level with my face. The stand that I had my computer on is a little bit lower than me, so I felt like I was looking down, and that was kind of making me look a little ominous. Sorry. Yeah, I got a 16% battery. I should probably think about signing off here. And holding the camera still. I'm probably making y'all seasick. Sorry. Susie, thank you. That is so sweet. You know, I've just been so incredibly blessed by Ira. I love him so much. And every day I only love him more. And every day I feel like he just lights my life up and makes everything special and everything exciting. Sweet. Oh, Missy says that Harlow and Harper, those are the names of her granddaughters. I really like that. I like the names that go together like that. Harlow and Harper, they kind of match. I think that's cute. That's sweet. Someone said Binks is building immunity. Probably. Maybe, you never know. Maybe that's why the second one didn't seem to bother him as much as the first one. And the first one was on his leg, and the second one was like right on his noggin. So I was like, oh gosh, you know, that's not good. Noggin bite, but he was okay. You know, he made it. More than one person have said they're under a heat advisory. That's crazy. Wow. Just as I Am is a fantastic hymn. That's a beautiful hymn. Whether it's sung a cappella, whether it's sung with music, it's very beautiful. It is. Well, I am missing Corey. I kept thinking maybe I didn't tell Corey that I was going to go live. I didn't tell her at all. I just kept thinking maybe that she would get on here and maybe she would like get a notification and be like, Katie? And like comment as us, but it would be funny because we're going live, but it would be her commenting. Maybe she'll see it later. Maybe she will see it later. Lee Child. No, I think she probably just never mentioned it. I don't think she cares. Her last name is Graddick. Austin's last name is Graddick. Austin Graddick. It's an interesting last name. I'd never heard of it until we met Austin and his family. Judy, that's right. Sunday school. What are we teaching? We're going to teach about Paul. I'm not sure which one. I need to look at my Sunday school book. But this whole unit, so we have like a, I don't know how many chapters, but it's broken up by units. And this unit is about Paul. So last time we talked about Paul and Silas. So I know it's going to be about Paul, but I don't know which event in Paul's life that we're going to do. But it will be about him. Yes, Austin is a fine young man. We're very lucky to have Austin in our life. I went a few times with Corey for just different times. One time when I bought my guitar down to, before Corey and Austin got married, down to his parents' house in Beaufort with them. And I have these really sweet memories of me and Corey and Austin, like shopping around Beaufort or just going and doing different stuff. And I always really enjoyed that. Austin's a really fantastic somebody, and his family, I just really enjoy and appreciate all of them. And they're so good to Woody, and they're so good to Corey. Corey really couldn't have found a better match. I'm so glad that they met each other. How old are the Sunday school kids? Like the age range? Well, you know something, my church is kind of a small church, and there's not always a lot of people there. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. So sometimes it varies. You know, it can be like kids as little as like 6 years old, and then I think our oldest, she's there most of the time, is 12, maybe gonna turn 13. So that's a big range. So like 6 to 12 maybe. But they're all really good and they're really smart. And so I feel like it's easy to kind of put it in a middle ground of understanding, if you will, so that the younger ones know what's going on. But so that Allie, our oldest, doesn't feel like, oh, this is too easy, like I'm not being challenged enough. So we make it work out pretty good. Corey, so guitar playing. Corey has a Taylor guitar, and she actually has an old Gibson guitar, but she likes to play the Taylor probably the most. What is the name of that reference Bible you use on your videos? I'm trying to think about that because Corey, I think that's something Corey does. I think we're thinking about a reference Bible that Corey has. There's little reference books that talk about, kind of give you a time frame, almost like a glossary of people in the Bible and like places and a time frame to give you an understanding of what's going on. I'll have to ask her about that and maybe get her to do a video about that because I'm just not sure. I will tell you one thing I like to do when I read the Bible is I like to look at David Guzik's Enduring Word Commentary. If you just type in to the internet Enduring Word Commentary, he has a commentary for every single book and every single chapter and pretty much every single verse of the Bible. And pretty much after everything I read in the Bible, I go read that commentary because he writes some things, but he also pulls from some other people like Spurgeon and other folks, Poole and different people, Clark, who have also like said things in the past. These are older folks that he's quoting that had things to say about Scripture, and I find it very helpful. And I also find that it puts it in a way that is not only easy to understand, but it pulls things out context-wise that I feel like I would have missed otherwise. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that was the overarching point there. And for some reason, I just didn't understand what was going on. And a lot of the times it's because we are limited by our understanding of like the vocabulary and the way that the English was written, what am I trying to say? The way that they spoke, is not like English today. So it's like, I don't know what they're saying. It's the Bible from 30,000 Feet. Is that the one they're talking about? Okay, because Corey, so I bought that book. This man named Skip wrote that book. I bought it and she borrowed it. So it may be that one that you're talking about. Thank you for that comment. The Bible from 30,000 Feet. That's another really great resource. And that goes by book of the Bible and gives you that outline. And it's very helpful to read that before you start reading a book of the Bible to give you a context of time and what's going on in kind of the history of the Bible. Really helps tack your understanding down to something, gives you a foundation of understanding, if you will. I really appreciate that. I really enjoy that. I read a little bit of it before I loaned it to Corey, and I really enjoyed it. And I know he may have some resources online too, the Bible from 30,000 Feet. So you have to check that out. You can get the book for yourself. It's great. You'll enjoy it. Our verbiage has changed from 1611 to 2025. Yes, thank you. Thunderstick Homestead, hey, how are you? Thank you for putting that into words. That's it. That's why it's hard to understand. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Can you well, I tell you what, I mostly read the KJV version just because it's what I grew up with, and it's what I like to do, and I believe it's the most accurate in terms of the amount of translations that have been created. Our pastor at church gave a really interesting talk about that, and I wish I could remember what he said. But I certainly understand that there's other versions of the Bible out there, and I don't think there's anything wrong with just trying to seek understanding, which, trying to understand what the Bible is saying. And if you don't know what it's saying, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to figure out, hey, if I got to read another translation, hey, if I have to look at this commentary to figure out what's going on here. But I just always want to be really careful that none of the original message is lost in a translation. And so for me, I like the KJV, but everybody does have their own preference. So, that's okay. That's no big deal. Oh yeah, that's right. Brian, you did meet Mama and Corey in Knoxville. Was I there? Did I go? Did you meet me? Sometimes I don't remember all, but we did. We went to a lot of the cookbook signings, and it's easy to forget about which ones we went to and that kind of thing. That kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I'm so happy to be here and do this. And we haven't done a live in forever, and I promise we'll do another one, and we'll do another one with her when Corey gets back. That would be great. Someone says that copperheads do have venom. Maybe they do, or maybe it's just not the same, as deadly venom as, some other snakes. I don't really know. All I know is you don't want to be bit by one. I don't think it'll kill you, but I think it'll probably make you really sick. And I don't know what it does to the animals. Apparently, it don't kill cats. It don't kill my cat, but I would sit out here for hours and talk to you guys. You're precious. You're wonderful. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you to want to be here and be a part of our lives and support our channel. We're so lucky to have this wonderful community here. So lucky. And we just thank you so much. I know I can speak for Corey when I say that too. We thank you so much. We sure do. Geneva Bible online. It's interesting. It seems like our pastor was talking about that. And it seems like he said that it was come before the KJV, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you. I don't wear a lot of makeup. Descendant, I think that's who commented that. I'm too lazy to put it on. That's what's going on. Hey Paige, how are you? We need to plan another cookbook signing or maybe somewhere where we could travel or do something like that. I think that would be fun. We haven't done that in a long time. Oh gosh, someone was bit by a copperhead and spent some time in the hospital. Yeah, so I do think they can make you really sick. The rattlesnakes, that's a whole nother story. You do not want to be bit by them. That's bad news. Now, we have rattlesnakes here, but I hardly ever see them. Dad said he's only ever seen one here on our property in the 30 years we've been here, and he killed it. He's like, I can't have that thing hanging around where Katie and Corey play out here by the swing set, Is your church online or on YouTube? I don't think it is. Me and Corey, we've talked about this before. Sometimes we will put in a day in the life video or maybe another video that we've done before. We'll put our phone on the bench and you can hear what's going on and you can just see the lights, the light fixtures, and we point the camera at the ceiling. I've never thought about just maybe I should ask somebody if they care if we just stream the service. That would be cool. Or at least show you, film part of it to show on a video that we do later. That would be cool. Man, Amanda, that's scary. A 6-year-old girl got bit by a copperhead and they had to life flight her. Ooh, praying for her and hoping she's okay. Well, guys, I probably really should sign off here. I love the Southern goodbye where we're like, gotta go. We should go. Gotta go. And then it's 30 minutes later, gotta go. And then it's just what do you guys farm to eat yourselves? Well, we've got a lot of questions about food, seems like lately. in the growing season, we do like beans and vegetables and potatoes and all sorts of stuff. And then during hunting season, then we'll just do meat. We'll have deer meat, squirrel meat, fish, things like that. When you start thinking of like categorizing food like that, I wish that I could do more. I wish I had a place to like keep meat birds, like chickens. Of course, we have our own eggs too because we have chickens out here. I wish I could keep pigs. I wish we could keep a dairy cow and get milk. I live next to a cattle farm, a good clean cattle farm. So I'm like, that's this closest. That's really close to like having my own meat cows. um, but I try to be conscious about where I source my food from, and I like to just get the base ingredients and then try to make everything else myself for a whole host of reasons. It's more economical, and then I can trust what's in it. I love the ancient grains. I love just buying loose, like organic ancient grains and then milling my own flour whenever I want to use a recipe with flour. And that's a great thing to do. I don't eat much like modern white flour anymore because it just has no flavor. Once you switch to the ancient grains, you're like, wow, this is so flavorful. Of course, all the health benefits. And then when you eat that compared to the white flour, like what we know is modern hybridized, I didn't say that right, white flour, you're like, this stuff is like white dust. It doesn't taste like anything. So hopefully we'll get to do more. Squirrel tastes like greasy chicken. I think it depends probably on maybe even where the squirrel come from, what it's eaten, and how you cooked it. Chicken, I think you could probably compare it to chicken, maybe like fried crispy chicken. Squirrel meat can be tough. There's not a lot there because they're little animals. So what we'll do is we'll pressure it sometimes, and then after we pressure it, we'll like fry it up. Oh man, squirrel meat, I may like it better than deer meat. I did one time have some turtle meat, some snapping turtle meat. Someone had made it into sausage. And so I had a sausage biscuit, but it wasn't made from pork. It was made from a snapping turtle. And honest to goodness, to this day, that is the best sausage I've ever ate in my entire life. It beat any pork sausage I've ever had out of the water. It was cool. It was cool. I missed out on the truck project, but I saw a couple of the first videos of it. Yeah. So I bought the 86 Chevrolet pickup truck, four-wheel drive truck, and you've not missed a lot because I've not I've not done a lot with it. It needs body work. I need to continue with the project, and I've just not. I had Ira, and then I was like, well, I can't be trying to fool with this truck, So hopefully I'll get back to it. Squirrel gravy, yes. It's not a good meal with the squirrel meat if you don't make gravy out of it. That's true. And squirrel dumplings, that's exactly right. Some freshly milled flour recipes. So here's some resources that I'm going to give you. There's several people. Maybe I'll make a video about it here soon. I hope that I do. There's several good ladies who have written some cookbooks, and you really only need a few cookbooks, I feel like, and that covers it all. But there's a woman named Kara, and she has a blog called Grains in Small Places. And she has a cookbook that she made. I think she just self-published, and she has all sorts of different things in that cookbook with different ancient grains. She works with einkorn a little bit. She works with an ancient grain called kamut, with just like your hard and soft white wheat or hard red wheat berries. She might do a little bit with spelt. So that's Kara with Grains in Small Places. There's another woman. Her name is Victoria, and she has a blog called Modern Homestead. She also shares, she does mostly strictly einkorn, the ancient grain einkorn. And then there's a company called Jovial Foods. This woman, I believe her name is Carla. She founded the company, and she has a book, and it's working with einkorn flour. So there's a lot of resources out there. There's another book. I know I'm missing something. I've got another book. There's Grain Teton is a website that sells ancient grains, and they have a book, or I should say that they sell this woman. Her name is Heidi, and they sell Heidi's Kitchen, I believe, and they sell a cookbook that she has. And I think she does. A lot of people do mostly einkorn because that is the oldest ancient grain, and it's like the original wheat. And it is the most nutritious, and it has the lowest amount of gluten. It has a weak, fragile gluten structure. So it can be tricky to work with. It can be difficult to work with, but the nutrition benefits are probably the highest out of all the ancient grains. It's amazing. Grains in Small Places. Kara. Yep, that's right. She's great. She is great. I get, do you ever see your friend who imitates Jerry Clower? That's gotta be Josh. That's gotta be Josh Griggs. We need to go see him again and put him on our channel. I haven't seen him in a while. I love the ancient grains. I'll get off on the ancient grains because the health benefits are amazing. A lot of people who cannot tolerate gluten can tolerate the ancient grains, and the flavor is just fantastic. It's wild. And it's more economical when you buy the grain by the pound, 40, 50 pounds at a time, and grind your own flour as you need it. Lasts for literally ever. The grains, as long as you don't get them wet, they'll last forever. Yes, praying for Israel right now, praying for the conflict in the Middle East. It's a scary time. Oh, and you know something? When no matter what happens, no matter which side you stand on, people die. You know what I mean? And it's a sad thing when people die and people perish, and you worry about said people believing in God. You worry about what their testimony is. And I hate to see innocent people die. I hate to see anybody die. You know, even when you think about people who are the worst of the worst, I still feel like our human heart can feel bad for that, even if it's a consequence sort of thing. So anyway, 1 cup of grain will make over 1 cup of flour. Yes. Yes, that's exactly right. So that's one more reason why it's more economical to buy the grain. Well, I'm going to sign off here. I literally told my babysitters, mom and dad, I said, well, I'll probably only go like, it'll only be like a 30-minute thing, and it's been an hour. So I am going to have to sign off here. I surely appreciate everybody coming to our chat here. I'm saying hour because I'm like, Corey? Wait, hold on. Let me get my arm out here so you can see that I'm pretending. I don't know. It's weird how the camera is. I'm like, oh, here it is. This is Corey. Yeah, here it is. This is Corey. I'm like, our chat, it's just me. Anyway, I thank you, everybody, for your comments. I thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to, I'm hoping I can do that, edit the description on this video here and post that information for the Hurricane Helene relief, an opportunity for you to help. And of course, you can still send your support through prayers. Just cover those people in prayers and continue to remember them when you come to the Lord. So I just keep seeing things I want to talk about, but I better go. So God bless you. God keep you. Thank you for joining us here tonight. I hope you have a blessed Saturday night and a wonderful Sunday morning. And we will catch you at the next video, at the next live. I may be posting the videos tomorrow. So if so, we will catch you there. Good night, everybody.